I'm going to tell you in a minute about Kasama Lee and how phenomenal she is. But I'm so proud that she is starting up the lineup. In my mind, what I envisioned for speakers was not only community development, but professional development, so that we're all growing within the community and growing within ourselves. So with that, Kasama Lee is going to start us off. But let me just kind of give you a sense of other people that are coming to speak to us. Joanne Wright with the Solano Library, Walt Schaefer, he's a Rotarian, he's going to talk about an international project in Tanzania. We have Peter Bostic with Solano Community College, Ethan Rodhen, he will help us learn to present better. And that'll help us here and within our other obligations and fundraisers and everything else that we're doing out in the community. We have Dr. Monique Hunt coming. She's going to be talking about 365 days of happiness and how we could be happy every single one of those days. And we also will have Charles Easton coming. He is the Executive Director for the Solano Small Business Development Center. So that's just a smack. Also, we have Wendy with the Omega Boys and Girls Club. So that's just a small sampling of the amazing speakers that we're going to have here. And all of those folks are confirmed. So with that, let me tell you about our speaker. So I'll read her bio, and then I'll give you the real skinny on Kasama. Kasama Lee. Kasama's true passion is coaching those who want to achieve greatness. She has been a student, a practitioner, and a mentor of John Maxwell's globally recognized principles since 2008. She's proud to be a part of John Maxwell's founding partners team as a certified coach. Her greatest rewards is to help guide and be a part of the right person or organization's journey so that they can achieve the level of success they want to step out and claim. Success is not just about having money. It's having money and time. It's about serving a cause that makes a difference in our communities that we care about. Kasama is the founder of Mentorship with Kasama Lee, a leadership development institute. And the topic that she's speaking about tonight is developing leaders in our communities. So here's the real deal about Kasama that she didn't have here.
Oh boy.
So not only is Kasama Lee one of us, she's a charter member here, but she's also an amazing friend. She is a phenomenal speaker. The first time I saw her speak, she spoke in front of the Empress Theater here in town, and it was a packed house. And the whole crowd was mesmerized by what she was saying. And I was too, I was like this, like a deer in headlights. I couldn't believe that this was my friend. And she was just such this amazing speaker. She's speaking about leadership today. Oh, let me tell you else about her speaking. She also has spoke on national stages all throughout the country and in front of thousands. So I forgot my thought.
I'm sure it was beautiful.
This is my last thought. So my last thought is, that's why I need notes. My last thought is, I'm glad she's speaking about leaders, but what she is she is a leader to many. I've known people that she's really affected their lives. So she not only is an amazing leader, but she has absolutely groomed leaders as well. With that, my good friend, Kasama Lee.
Okay, so here's the deal. After Brian, softened the crowd up, so if I suck at this, you'll be okay, right? You still love me?
Yep.
And then, Patrice, thank you so much for your beautiful words. I mean, Patrice and I have depths of our friendships and our relationships, and she's seen me grow over the years. And one thing I want to tell you is first of all, it's an honor, truly humbling for me to be able to speak in front of the Rotarians. I was invited by LeBron a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, to the other Rotary function, right? And I thought, you know, this is not me, it's not my thing, it's 2 hours long and all that stuff. And then Laquan mentioned this group, and it was like the time schedule and and who I'd become, you know, through the process in the past few years. I was ready. But I still didn't understand the mission and the vision of Rotary. We're going to change that, this group, aren't we?
Yes.
We're going to educate, you know, the guests and the members. As I started attending the meeting, I started to grow, to appreciate and learn more about what the Rotary, being a Rotarian is about, the pride and the difference that a lot of those leaders have made. And so, you know, and I have several businesses, so I wasn't even sure when I came in, like, what you know, I started being part of the Rotary because of my respect for Laquan, but I didn't really understand what it was for. Sorry. So I thought it was another networking thing, right? And as I've learned to understand more about what Rotarians have done and what the Rotary as an organization has done, I realize it's about making a difference. It's about leaders, people who decide to become leaders, or people who are already leaders who want to make a difference, whatever their causes are. So this was a perfect opportunity. When Patrice asked me to speak, first of all, like I said, I was honored, and second of all, I was like, I have to create a topic just for this talk. So I usually write my own stuff, my own trainings and all of that. But I've been working with leadership development, and I have found that, you know, all of those years in my various careers have exactly placed me where I am today. And that's my passion. You know, the passion is when you do it for free, right? Where you don't get paid, you still do it. Well, that's me. So it's evolved into a mentorship business. I'm going to be speaking at a women's conference at the Maritime Academy a couple of weeks from now, doing a breakout session. And I'm working, you know, I started mastermind groups for business owners because I feel like that's the niche of the people that I connect with. Okay? So before I begin the topic, I'm going to show a little quick video of one of my favorites. I can just get everything to work like they're supposed to. I think it'll be good.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man.
Moving, isn't it? No? Am I in the wrong room? So anyway, I just wanted to kick it off with that because that's really my topic that I wanted to share with you. There we go. And it's really about developing leaders in our communities, and I think part of our mission here, you know, as a starting group, is to really keep finding and developing leaders, whatever their causes may be. You know, one of my guests, Mr. Brandon McGrew, his cause, his passion, his calling is about the youth in Vallejo that need a place to gather and be productive, right? So it's really just having the gathering of like-minded people and identifying them, you know, on top of it, right? So that's what I wanted to share with you. So this is my favorite quote. Be the change you want to see in the world. You know how when people talk about, why isn't it this way? Why isn't it that way? Why can't somebody do something about it? Why can't we be the one? Right? Why can't we roll up our sleeves and say, it's going to start with me? Like I just, you know, my schedule has gotten really kind of crazy with stuff that I'm doing, but I saw Brian's email about needing volunteers. And I felt like, okay, what can I do? Because I don't want to just hear about things that are not getting done. I want to be part of the solution. So I volunteered to him. He hasn't seen my email, so maybe I can recall it. But I volunteered to be part of to lead the membership side of the club, because I think I'll have fun with it. You know, I mean, find something that speaks to you, right? And that's where you begin. And if you have to learn the skills, you'll develop the skills, and you'll develop a circle of people that will teach you those things. Why do we need leaders? Why do we need leaders? Why do we keep talking about leadership? You know, this is an interactive thing. You can speak. Usually when I speak, people say something back to me. So why do we need leaders? Why do you think we need leaders?
So we all don't go off and maybe fall over.
So we don't?
Go off a cliff into the ocean.
We go off a cliff? Yeah, that's true. Well, some of the leaders lead us into off the cliff too.
But not here.
Not here, not in this room. This is a special group.
To motivate us.
To motivate us, right?
To pull us in the same direction.
Absolutely.
Share guidance
Share guidance.
with us.
To inspire.
To inspire. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So leadership is really an equivalent of influence, right? And even, you know, when you think about, and I was sharing this example that, you know, when my kids were small, you know, I was part of the Moms Club. You're familiar with those, right? They're very famous. Some of them are very highly educated women that just decided to raise their children. And even if you're a stay-at-home mom, aren't you a leader? You better believe it, the little people are following somebody, right? And they're looking to you as a role model. So we're actually leaders in some sort of a unit in our communities, whether it's our family or religious organization or the Rotary, whatever our affiliations are. Even if you're in sales and you're by yourself, are you a leader? If you're planning to influence anybody to buy anything from you, you better believe you're a leader, right? So it's a set of skills that can be developed regardless of who you are and what walk of life you're part of. Leaders are the difference makers. This is how I see this group. You know, and I've done a lot of networking. Starts with a C and an H-A-M. You know, those networking groups, right? And I never felt like I belonged. You know, you come home with a bunch of business cards, but there's no relationships. And I feel like this is a group where we become family. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or is it just me? Right? Okay. So leaders are the difference makers, but now watch out when you have a group of difference makers with like-mindedness in one room. Amazing things can happen. You know, I see this group, you know, having their own causes, whatever it is that lights you up, that makes you passionate, and you go, you know what, I want to go help grow that. And I feel like that's what the Rotary's vision and mission is about, right, for the members. Leaders have a clear vision. Again, that's part of your cause, whatever your vision is, okay? And they impact change, don't they? They're doers. They're not just talkers, they're not just listeners, they actually take action. Oh, there you go. Who wrote this slide? They take action towards their vision. So it's important for a leader to have a clear vision so that they can follow through. They may not know how to get there, but you got to know where it is that you want to go, right? So I think it's critically important to have a clear vision. And they influence others towards the vision, just like what Cheryl said, right? Guiding others, motivating others, you know, taking people with you. And I feel like that's what true leadership is. And sometimes you don't really know where you're going. You're not sure how to get there, but you have a responsibility as a leader, you know, to continue to explore so that you can get there. So you know some of these folks, right? Yeah? Look familiar?
Yeah.
Right? So I got inspired, and I do my stuff on Facebook, and I kind of reflect, and sometimes I put quotes together, you know, leadership stuff. So I have a following of people who we kind of speak the same language. And I wrote this the other day, and I wanted to share with you. Imagine if Steve Jobs, Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., John F. Kennedy, Mother Teresa, and the likes didn't think their vision alone could make a difference in the world. Imagine if leaders today didn't have enough courage in them to think that they can ever make a difference. what we think and do affect others. Pretty powerful, isn't it, when you think about that? How you can impact other people? So here are some of the characteristics of leaders. They have a strong vision and a cause. Sometimes it's one of the same, right? Integrity. They do what they say they're going to do. And I have to come clean with you. I haven't lived up to my integrity. I haven't gone to visit another chapter. And it's been bugging. You know, when you ask for the excuses, I'm like, do I have to do this? I have to come up with something. I just haven't gone. I haven't made time to do what I was supposed to do. But it's in the back of my mind that I have to go do it. I have to go visit another chapter with a guest. All right. They have courage, right? Successful people and leaders actually have fears. They just keep doing what they're afraid of until it's no longer called fear. Do you agree?
Yes.
We all have fears. But why do some people get past that and have breakthroughs in their cause and their organization? They have discipline, right? You can't try something one time and you think it's going to make a difference. Sometimes you got to do it over and over. You know, think of the Steve Jobs. Think of Gandhi. They kept repeating their message until the world could hear. Tenacity. Don't give up, right? I mean, a lot of people quit just when it's just right around the corner. Would have made all the difference. And they're determined. They're determined to get it done. Whether there's anybody with them or not. Because they will find, you know, what I found is leaders will attract people to them if they have their strength and their cause to be strong enough. Would you agree? Think about all the leaders. Some of them, you know, some people who follow the cause, they don't even know that person directly, but they follow the cause because the cause is so strong. They're servants. You know, when, I have to share this with you real quick. I didn't grow up a Christian, but I became a Christian. And when I first heard the term servant, I was like, servant? Why would I want to be a servant? I didn't get it. You know what I mean? It's just, I came from a different culture, and servant meant something else. And once I understood, like deep in my heart, what it means, it's about serving others, right? So the moment that you can forget about what's in it for me, you might actually achieve something because it comes back tenfold, hundreds of fold. Ability to recognize ability, right? So now we're talking about developing leaders. If you have someone that could possibly turn into a leader and you miss it because you never paid attention, because you're not tuned in, you might have missed out on a great alliance or a great leader waiting to happen. So I think it's almost an intuition, or it's something that can be developed where you start to recognize talent waiting to happen, or somebody who just has white hot burning desire to become a leader. Challenge of leadership, this is a great one. The first victory is the victory over self. Leadership is leading ourselves first. And sometimes that's hard to do. We have our own inner dialogue, don't we? Right? And you can only lead if you know how to follow first. So now, the next one, some of you might already be thinking this. Get the ego out of the way, right? You know how some people go, yeah, I already know that. No, I know it. Right? You got to find a bigger doorway for them. You can't fit through the door, right? But get the ego out of the way so you can keep learning. I don't believe that anyone can ever stop learning. I don't care if you're 105 years old, right? If you're not growing, you're dying. Right? So, last but not least, you like my artwork, Sam?
I like that.
All right. A vision sees light in the dark. Leaders is about, and you know, when you think about the leaders, the legendary leaders of all time, they're doing things that is not popular. that people didn't see the point. The people laughed at, but they stuck to their vision. And you could see, they could see light in the dark, but no one else could see until the right people start following. So how does it tie back to us? What is your vision? Do we just come to the meetings and hang out, or are we going to go make a difference? And I might make some of you annoyed right now, but you know, I'm shooting from the hip. Are we going to make a difference? Are we going to make this group known for making a difference?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Ooh, I love it!
Absolutely.
Let's identify and develop leaders, one community at a time. Whatever community you're part of, let's identify. It's not about us doing it all by ourselves. It's about us identifying the leader, bring them into the Rotary, let them be exposed to what we're about. And there's so many talents in this room, just this room alone. You know, and form an alliance of leaders and help them develop and grow. It starts with here. Okay, well I was in a hurry. It starts here. It starts here, right? So what I want to share with you is this. I had the opportunity to go speak to a youth group who were Christian camp counselors. I didn't know what they were doing, what the mission was. And my friend from our church basically invited me to go and said, I want you to come and speak to some young, you know, a group of youth. And I said, well, what is it about? Because usually I need to know what the mission is. And she spoke so fast, and I came to find out she did that purposely so I would be confused. And I asked her 3 different times, and I still didn't know what this group was about. She said, just come with us, it's a camp, you know, it's a campground, beautiful, blah, 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 and we'll put you up in a room, we'll feed you. I said, can I bring my husband and my kids? She was like, sure. So we went. I still had no idea and she says, well, it's a group of leaders, okay? And whatever you want to share, I know it'll be great, because she saw that I'm, you know, part of the John C. Maxwell certification. He's a worldwide leadership development speaker, not just a speaker, a practitioner. And he's been around for years. He's sold, I don't know, 20 million books, New York Times bestseller, and my life has changed in the past 5 years due to a lot of his principles, because I just live it. I don't just learn it, but I live it. So I still didn't know what the mission was. That morning, she said, we're going to hike over to the sanctuary, and we're going to hike over it. And I'm like, okay, we're hiking. And she says, you're going to, you know, we're going to do the morning devotional. So I went and sat, and the pastor spoke. And that was when I realized that these kids were going to be the counselors for the first time of the summer camp that's scheduled for this summer. And then I understood. I understood the purpose. And I already prepared my talk and all that stuff, but I went in from my heart, you know, from the slides to my heart. And I spoke to them about, I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. They're college-age kids, and some of them have come from very difficult, challenging homes. But they want to make a difference. And I spent the whole day with them. And I realized, and that was when it was like a light bulb moment for me, that there are young people, you know, that want to grow, that want to learn, that want to become better, but where do they get this stuff, right? Where do they learn to think out of the box and not listen to the stuff that's being fed to them, that they can't ever make a difference? So, and I got so much from them, because it was very interactive, it was like a workshop, that for the past week I've been thinking I want to start some sort of a leadership, nonprofit leadership thing for kids. You know, do the talks, set up games or whatever, so that they understand. Jim is like wiggling in his seat. I think I need to talk to him after this, but I feel like that's really my calling. You know, if you can just catch them at the seeds before they grow into wild weeds, right? They might have a shot. There are a lot of leaders waiting to happen, but they don't know how to get there. And how do they get there without spending the money and all that other crazy stuff? I mean, I've even thought about turning into, you know, getting scholarships and all that stuff, you know, for the people who earn it, whatever the guidelines are. But that's really been, it's been a journey for me, as you can see. I mean, I started out as a mom, and I just wanted to work from home, and I got into real estate thinking I could work from home, and I got burned out, and I still do real estate by referrals, and I never done sales. And I got into a leadership industry, and I had to learn how to become a leader. I had no choice. I mean, if you're gonna lead, you better got some stuff, right? So I learned in the past 5 years, and my life will never be the same. I'm a better mother. I'm a better wife. I'm a better business person. I'm a servant, and that couldn't have happened if my last 10 years haven't been what it is. And I truly hope that this somehow, some way has impacted you, so that we can have a call to action to make a difference collectively. Thank you.
Great club, what a great club. As we're talking about the leaderships too, I just want to introduce the leaders of this club too for everybody who's